All right, it's July 12th. It's 91 degrees and I got to pull honey today. So we're going to pull honey today and let's go to it. So here, nice warm day. We're going to pull this honey off of this. There could be as many as 3 boxes, but I know 2 of them are full anyway. Got my fume board, which is foam on the inside. You spray it with Honey Bandit's what I use. Just missed it a few times. And if you got direct sunlight, this stuff works better. And today I got lots of direct sunlight. It's hot. All right, and that is glued down. So what this does, it gets all these bees to leave this box. I'm going to look and see if I need to harvest this box first. There, got most of the bees back in the box. All right. There's honey in it, but it's really wet stuff. The frames are all completely built out. So what I'll do is I'll put this one back on. I need to put it right there. All right, I know the next 2 are completely built out. So there's one of my boxes that's splintering. All right, so we place this on top, and that's kind of it. It takes just a few minutes, and they'll come out of those 2 boxes pretty quick. Yeah, I'll move it over here. All right, while I'm here and I got time for that one to vent, I'm just going to check this one a little bit. See, all the bees that fly off are field bees. And every one of them flew off. So they're just kind of hanging. Put some smoke down in the box. All right. The white frames are built out The black frames, almost nothing. Same as before. Except even after another week, the white frames are built out and they're storing a little honey. And the black frames are blank. That's okay. This hive isn't big enough to make any honey this year. That's another reason why there's 10 frames in it. I know it's not going to produce any honey that I can pull. I'm looking for a frame that's not built out real big, because a lot of these, they built out real big and stored honey in them. Yeah, that's a good one. There's not much of anything on that one. Okay, that one's pretty much stripped. I'm going to move these stripped frames out to the outside wall because you can see they're not doing anything with them. I thought moving them in the middle would get them to build them out, but they're not touching them, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to re-wax them next year. Okay, we got brood on that one. Oh, this is the one with the queen cell, wasn't it? Okay, this side is eaten out. Every cup along the bottom has been cleared. There's a lot of milk brood in this frame. A lot of milk brood. And the other side's the same. Got a baby queen there, or baby there. Oh, a sign of the queen. Frame of honey. And that side's, they're filling with nectar. That's good. So we got brood on this one in the top, and the rest are honey. So this hive has got plenty of resources. Put that brood frame back in the middle. I'm gonna move these two honey frames over towards the center. Take a look at that one. Yeah, it's just honey. I'm going to turn it around where the honey storage is towards the brood. The other frame on the outside is all capped honey. Looks like it's probably the leftover stuff from last year. All right, so got one brood and 6 frames of honey. So we know we got an active queen. She's laying. They're happy because you can see that, I mean, they're not flying or they're not bothering me at all. All right, let's get them centered up. And we'll put this box of honey back on top. Actually, it's a box of half loading with honey because there's not much in it, but it's good. All right, get them boxes, frames pushed back down where they belong. And that hive, except for doing a treatment, it's ready to go. All right, I have a little shim here. It's not enough for the bees to get out, just enough to ventilate a little bit. Put it under that top cover. And then I have my migratory lid because I don't have any more telescoping covers. And my nice little rain shield that I'm going to start making for more of them. It's also white, so it reflects the sun and it should cool them off. I don't know. I just thought it was a good idea because the migratory lid leaks when it rains real hard. So I just wanted to go that route. Get some of that protection. All right. He's blowing smoke in my face. All right, let's see if we can pull some honey. All right, it's been long enough. Let's see if I can let's see if I can pull some honey. I love this. This is what that does for you. Let me get my puller. So now instead of this hot box being covered with bees, propolis. See? There's no bees. They have evacuated the area. I mean, there's always one or two that don't leave. That's why we have a nice little brush here. We just give them a little flick and they're gone. All right. Wow, with it being this hot, that propolis is really gooey. Man, that's a heavy box. And I'll set them up outside my honey room. And I'll pull the frames out one at a time, brush the bees that are still in it, and set them in the honey room. Let me see if there's how much bees. I may have to put the top on it for a minute. Yeah, there's a lot of bees in this one. Okay, so we're going to put the fume board back on top of this one for a few minutes. get these bees to go out. It's been a couple of minutes. There's still a few stragglers, so what I'm going to do is I got some drone brood on that one. Huh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it over here sideways. Let my fume board do its work. A little longer. All right. And then we'll just set this box back on there. And all those bees that are wanting to deliver some honey can go right in now. Brush the bees off the outside. I don't think I have to worry about them building a bunch of burr comb because there's not enough nectar going on out there right now to build much comb. All right, so let's prop it so they can get some air. The weed. All right, so that's all we got on this side. 2 full boxes of honey over here. We're going to go to the other side and see if they finished off some other boxes over there. All right, what we're going to do on this side is we're going to look, starting with this first box, and see if there's any honey to harvest. And get some stuff out of my hands. They got them a little rear entrance back there. Sit that way over there. And there's a lot of bees in the top. Put a little smoke in there. Heavy propolis. All right, there's some wet honey. Huh, it doesn't shake out. It may be dry. There's a bunch of honey in that one. It's not capped, and I'll have to use a refractometer, but I can dry it if nothing else. Yeah, this whole box is just like that. It's got honey in it, but there's no caps. We'll see what's on the next box. And then we'll decide which way we're going to go. Take my fume board out of the way. Put my lid down there so I can set this box off. All right. And we still got a few. Just need to crank it up a little. This outside frame looks the smallest. Yeah, it's got almost nothing on it. But that's fine because the comb is built out. And that gives me good comb for next year. All right, that's a nice heavy frame. They're already beginning to cap on one side. And it looks like it's dry enough to pull. That one's capped, partially capped, partially capped, mostly capped, mostly capped, barely capped. Got one sail capped. And another heavy frame. So let's just take this last frame. And it has nothing on the outside, which is normal, but the inside has a lot of wet nectar. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of wet nectar in that one, but that's okay, because this frame's not any good either. So what I want to do after I put it back, take it out. We'll go ahead and brush the bees off of these that are wet. Well, I said it was going to brush them off. pretty wet. What I'm going to do is take all the since it looks like we're only going to get one box here, I'm going to take all the good frames and leave the rest. Some of these don't have honey on both sides, but that one's full. All right, so I got a lot of good frames and 4 that are totally useless. Okay, so let's stack them back up and get all the bees out. I'll probably put that one box, put a small box on top with just those few frames that are drawn out but almost nothing on them. I'll put it back on top, and if they draw some more nectar, then they can fill up another little box. All right. We're gonna go for it. That stuff works pretty fast. But this is the best way of doing this, is we use fume board and we pull a frame, we knock off bees, put the frames in another box. There's the only bee so far. See how well that stuff works? I'm going to pull these 2 boxes and extract them separate from the rest of my honey because the moisture content combined might be a little too high. You got to get around 17 or lower, otherwise honey will ferment and then it's totally useless. Oh, got a couple of holdouts. Let me take a look at that shake on that one. Yep, that's wet nectar. Can't use it. All right. So we take that box off. And we move the fume board down. Give it a minute to clear. And do the same. All right. It's already pulling bees out of the medium. It'll run them. You'll get them all out on the front of the box if you put too much of that stuff in there and leave it too long. And I've been told they'll abscond, which means they'll completely leave the whole hive. Will abandon the box because it stinks. Purpose of this brush is you just barely brush them and they'll fly off. You don't want to aggressively brush them because then you'd hurt them. We don't want to hurt no bees. And this is why you wear a full suit when you pull honey supers, because they usually get quite upset because you're stealing their food. They've been working all summer to store this, and then here you are taking it away from them. All right, that's got that box full. Got some more bees that are still hiding out up there. So for the moment, cover that one up so they don't get back in there. All right, let's see if that did the trick. And we've got 2 or 3 holdouts. 2 or 3 I can easily dispatch. All right, see, you got almost all of them. Me and my butterfingers. And we'll put the fume board on top. We know they won't win that. All right. I'm gonna pull this and just look before I move on. Because when they're building comb out, that one they're not. I'm gonna swap that out. I've got one more deep frame. Because now that I'm pulling these off, I'm gonna start feeding so they'll build up some winter resources. Okay. Now the pink frame they hadn't touched. My swarm box over there built it out and filled it full of honey. Okay. So this box is full of I made somebody mad. Very full of these medium frames, and they're not doing anything to them. This box doesn't have the population, and right now there's no nectar, not enough nectar flowing. So we're going to put these good frames together, full frames together in the middle. And then once I start feeding, maybe they'll draw them out, maybe they won't. When I check these in the next month or so, if there's no good population growth, then I'll combine this hive with another hive. And that'll be that. All right, we got these partial frames of honey that will pull them up through those brood frames. And hopefully she won't come up here and lay in them. All right, I've got 2 old frames that I put in the freezer. They're pretty thawed now. Doesn't take long. All right, so that gives me a box full of frames. Put that on there. And I don't have another cover. It'd be all right for a minute. Set one of my feeders over the top of it. That'll kind of stop the direct light. And I'll go put these honey supers up. Okay. Here we go. Got one more hive. This has been one of my biggest honey producers. I had kind of moved the frames around because they had too many frames. They weren't drying it. And I'd actually put some back that I had pulled and they had already filled them up. So I split these honey frames and over to this box as well. Those were good. Now we're going to go into these. We've already pulled 2 boxes off of this, extracted them, put them back on. Now let's see if we get a second crop out of these. And we pulled these in, I don't remember. I think this is the ones that I pulled in May. All right, got lots of bees flying. Notice how they're just flying out of there. This box is so heavily populated. They're a little more aggressive. Okay. There's nothing in here. Well, there's a little honey on that side. I don't have my hive stand, frame stand, so I'm going to shake the bees off and put them over to the side. Same here, there's really nothing here. Let me get my brush. But they've repaired the frames. I may pull this box off completely. Put it in the freezer. Make sure there's no bugs on it. As in small hive beetles and wax moths. I like to freeze them. Then we'll have no questions about it. And there's a little honey on that box front side. Let's go ahead and dust them. Do just a light flick. All you have to do is touch them with the brush and they'll start moving, and then you can just flick them off the frame. All right, the amount of honey I'm seeing in here is not much, but I'm tempted to leave this, put this box back on. See, there's nothing in that box frame. I almost smashed the bee. There, they flew off. One of them. There you go. Yeah, there's nothing on that one. And there may not be any on the other box frame either, because these were extracted and put back on. I got just a smidgen of black honey on that. It's just, I mean, these got 4 frames in here that have just a little bit of honey on them. It's not enough to extract. All right, so let's set this box aside. And see what we have in the next one. Well, it's looking like this may be a box to extract. A leaf that got up in there from the last time. All right, let's go over here where it looks like there's nothing going on. There's just a very little on both sides. Little on that side. Some of this looks dry enough to extract, but there's just a small clump. See, that one's even got capped cells. Just a little circle in the center, but that's capped. We just keep looking before we decide. I mean, there's not much on any of these frames so far, but now I got one that's full. Yeah, not completely full, but it's a good sized frame. Yeah, that one's good. And I got one that's about half capped over in the corner. Okay. So I got almost 5 frames of usable honey. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this box. I'm going to put a bunch of frames that just barely have any on them. Put them back, just like I did the other one. And if they put some more in there, that's great. If they don't, it'd be all right. That one's got a little honey on it, so I'll put it in this box. Well, if you could hear this, you hear how they've ramped up big time since I put that on there? All right, those 10 frames have honey on them that they might be able to dry out, maybe fill. Wow. Let me give them a little. There's a queen excluder on there and they can't get through there fast enough. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're not flying at me. They're just flying to get away from this fume board. I don't have any more boxes. That's like I showed you, it's a pretty simple to dust them off and put them in another box, but I ran out of everything this year due to unforeseen splits that I had to do. And one swarm that I caught. Once I get all these bees off of here, I can shake the box out and put these frames in it and head for the extraction room. Okay. Make sure there are no bees left. I'm going to take the queen excluder off because it doesn't serve any point the rest of the year. We don't need it. Okay, we're going to put this box back on there just in case they decide to make some more honey. We don't need an excluder because there's already honey in the boxes. There's honey in the top brood box, so we don't really have to worry about that. Put these Oops, need to taper that a little. Give them some air. All right, guys, it's Sunday, the 12th of July. I got done with pulling all of my honey yesterday. I got about 5 boxes. I'll start my extraction tomorrow. Right now, the honey's all sitting in my drying room at about 37% humidity. It should dry out all of the uncapped honey that I pulled. So I can get everything under or around 17%. We'll be good. So thanks for watching, guys. Watch for another video I'm going to be posting pretty quickly that will be on the rest of the inspections on the other 2 hives that I didn't get to. But I may even pull a video on the extraction process, although I've already done that a couple of times. So stay tuned for the other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Throw in some comments out there. We'll be making more. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.